I'm going to show you how I use my Cricut Maker in order to add designs to my quilting projects. And this would be a good time to let you guys know that I have lots and lots, hundreds and hundreds of sewing and quilting tutorials, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have this wall hanging that I made, and I want to add a little bit of extra detail on this wall hanging, and I'm going to show you how we can use the Cricut Maker for sewing projects. I am not paid nor sponsored to create this video. I have the champagne coloured one. It kind of looks like rose gold. And I am going to place a very simple design onto this wall hanging. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on Cricut's design space here. So this is the design that I am going to be using, and it measures it for you. So right here is 7 inches by just like 4 1/4, I would say. So when I cut my vinyl out, I'm going to be doing it 8 inches by 5 inches. So I catch everything that I need when I'm doing my vinyl. So when we click onto, so this was already a pre-designed already in Cricut. I didn't actually make this. This was already done by Cricut. And then when I click make it over here, the great thing about Cricut is it's going to show all the different colours that you're going to be using. So, and it splits it up by a different colour. So this is going to be the black vinyl that we're going to be using to make the cat lady section. And then we'll click down here. It's going to, this is the pink of the ears that we're going to be putting over the top of the black section. Now, another thing to remember when you're doing iron-on vinyl is you're going to have to mirror the image. You're going to have to mirror the image, because when you iron it on, it's going to be like, when you cut it out, it's going to be backwards. So then when you put it down, you can actually read it properly on the item that we are placing it on. And this drop-down menu is actually for the cutting mats. So we could do it by 12 by 12 or the 12 by 24. And also, because we've mirrored that first one, we're going to have to mirror the second one. And then when we click continue, it's going to connect up to my Cricut Maker, and then it will show you the most popular materials that you can use for the Cricut. We are going to be using the Everyday Iron-On, but you can also browse through a huge selection of their Cricut all the different materials here. There are so many. I'm going to click back off there, and then I'll be clicking on Everyday Iron-On. And the great thing about Cricut is it is going to remind you that you have to make sure the mirror is turned on and iron-on material is faced shiny side down. What I love about the Cricut is it's very foolproof and it's very hard to make any sort of errors. So this pressure here is set to a default. So this will be default to whatever this setting that you set to. Cricut's very smart like that. So, and then you can also click more if you want to. You can put less if you want to. I'm going to click more, and then we can load. It's not going to do anything until we've loaded the mat into the Cricut Maker. So I'll be doing that in a second. So I have my mat here. This is the light grip mat. I have my vinyl, and as it says, shiny side face down. I have to change my blade over to the fine point blade. So I'm going to change my knife over to the fine one. It's not even in the right place. I have them all named, and I'm not even putting it back where it's supposed to go. It's very easy just to slot these blades in. And then I'm just going to load the mat into the machine. And when it's ready to go, this little Cricut light will start flashing, and then it's going to start cutting everything that we need to have cut on this black vinyl. I'm going to get my iron all warmed up. I don't actually have the Cricut pressing mat, I actually do want the Cricut press and mat so bad. They're coming out with a new one that actually loads all the settings into your telephone, and it seems like really innovative. And here we go, it's now cut in. It really doesn't take that long for it to do it, it's very quick. And it'll also give you a percentage countdown of how long it's going to take on your cutting on your computer. And also if you're doing something like basswood, it will tell you how many times you have to go over to recut that particular material. Now I can just about see where it is cut, and now I am going to have to weed some of this excess out. We only want to weed out the areas that we are not going to be sticking down. So you're going to get this tool and you are going to pull it back, and it will reveal the areas that have been cut. So this can be a little laborious, and you're going to have to show a little bit of patience. And you'll go around and take the excess away. And don't forget to do the inside of letters. Now you're going to use this sticky film here, and it's going to become your transfer. And you're going to make sure that you have everything in place before you use your iron and press. Make sure it's all lined up how you want it to be lined up. And then you're going to press with an iron. This is where that Cricut press is so much better, because it is set to a certain temperature and it's set to a certain time, and it'll do it all for you and take the guesswork out of everything. Whereas when you're doing it with your own regular iron, it's a bit harder to get that heat regulated. And I apologise, I did have a faux pas with the ears, like the pink ears and the black ears here. And that was mainly my fault when I was cutting on the mat. And I noticed at the beginning when I was doing the video that something seemed a bit odd. I ended up having the pink setting on for cutting the little ears, and instead of having the black setting, and then when I went over to cut, it cut over the top of the other cut already done, if you know what I mean. So what had happened was it overlapped these ears. I mean, it doesn't take away from the design is really good. So when you're actually doing your projects on your Cricut, just be mindful on which sheet you are actually on for your cutting, so you don't make any sorts of errors like I do. But you can see how Cricut, using your Cricut Maker, is actually really cool in adding some detail to your quilting work. So wherever you would use like a embroidery machine in order to add like applique and stuff, you can use your Cricut Maker instead of using your embroidery machine. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I have lots and lots of sewing and quilting tutorials on my YouTube channel.